Hello, welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. I am your savage daughter, and I made promises that I would be bringing you videos of all the activities I've been up to when I've been in my silence. So here we are. I have my buffalo drum here. This is buffalo medicine we'll be talking about today. I'm super excited about buffalo. It was the first, I can't say the first because I had the opportunity to channel bear. I had the opportunity to channel deer, yet I wanted to start with buffalo because to me it was the most sacred experience that I had had in the drum making. I just completed my Master of Sacred Sound and my drum practitioner training at the beginning of December. I've been in training for about 6 months, and I have all these delightful babies to share with you. The reason buffalo was so profound to me was the lessons and the teaching that I experienced with buffalo. And, you know, when we talk about medicine, we talk about the animal medicine. What we're talking about is the walk that we do with that animal. And if you approach it in a consciously intentional way, the animal will speak to you. When we create these drums, we set an intention and we go about it in a very ceremonial, ritualistic, and sacred way. There's a reverence in which we handle these animal skins and the medicine. When we first take the hide out of the water and where the skin is being soaked in selenite, crystals, herbs, maybe a little Florida water and essential oils to invite spirit and to greet the new drum as they come. We drum over the water to imprint, and we'll talk about imprinting in just a minute, where we imprint the drum with the idea that we are using them for ceremony and that we're inviting them in, inviting spirit into that. When I created deer, I literally had to stand up and put myself on the floor because there were moments where visions were coming in. Yet buffalo, I had been sick for a while, months really, and I wasn't sure how much mental capacity I was going to have for the training because I'd been in bed up until the day before, like laying on the couch with a heating pad, hoping not to die. So when I had gotten there, I was really trying to take it easy. I was trying to pace myself, not do too much. I wanted to be present for every moment. And I had begun buffalo with a new type of tie. Now, I have some other drums I'll show you in a minute, but I don't want to get too distracted. But it was the first time I had used the paracord. And usually I was accustomed to using lacings of the hide itself. And so there was a level of frustration that was going on. And I felt like I was missing out on too much in task and missing out on what buffalo had to say. So Holly gave me a recommendation, my mentor, Holly of the Beauty of Perspective, highly recommended, worth every penny, just throwing that out there if you ever feel a call. So when I went to work with buffalo, I had quit and put him in some water to soak again so I could work on him later. And I made myself go to bed. And while I was laying in bed, I was thinking, well, what I'll do is just bring him upstairs. This one's a him. Most of them are she's, but this one definitely has some masculine power and energy to him. But I had chosen to finish the tie. At midnight, I was laying in bed and I just couldn't stop channeling. Buffalo was coming through and teaching me and giving me messages. And so I got up and I finished the tie, and then I set up some of my other drums side by side so I could it felt like Christmas morning with all my presents I wanted to play with, and I laid on the couch and I just enjoyed channeling and listening and looking at them. And I put these drums that I had created alongside all the other ceremonial drums that were in the house so they could kind of imprint. So, you know, I was really exhausted at this point and I had gone to bed. Mostly it was the idea that this was the first time I'd be in making. And so buffalo was telling me that this is the first time I'll be making drums, and that I was setting a grid and not to quit mid making. So when I went back to trying to rest, buffalo, I was thinking to myself, is there anything nurturing about buffalo? And the first messages that came through was that nurturing. And I thought, well, what can be more peaceful than the idea of nurturing? Buffalo is associated with earth. I did some research before I did the making so that I'd have that in my brain and I could integrate some of those ideas while I was making. What was fun is all of the little details that I learned about buffalo. And then after I had some channeled messages coming in, I had some more study to do. But so firstly, buffalo is earth energy. So the element of earth with buffalo. In doing my research, I came across some definitions, and I just wanted to do a dad joke because my inner child is a minion. But what is a I know it's silly, but just bear with me. So what is a herd of buffalo called? A gang or an obstinacy? I loved obstinacy, and I was like, I want to be an obstinacy. Buffalo is very determined. So buffalo energy and buffalo medicine brings in determination. You know, there's a freight train kind of energy that goes in with buffalo. They're strong and determined. Also did some research and discovered that according to hunters, that buffalo is part of the big five. So what is it? Lions, leopards, rhinoceros, and elephants. Buffalo was the most deadly of animals to hunt because of their cunning and the way that they calculate to try to fight back. So buffalo has a lot to do with determination. However, historically and in other tribes, buffalo is understood to be the provider. It provides food, clothing, shelter, tools, all of the things that's necessary for life. So one of the terms that we like to use, the little catchphrases, is all things are provided for. Everything that is needed is already provided. And when I got to thinking about that, and when I made this buffalo, this hide is very thick. I had to like put my feet on this 36-inch cedar frame and pull to get buffalo to come into place. And I had this realization of like how thick the hide is. I have another one over here. I'll show you. Some of it is thicker than others. Like I have Kayla's beautiful buffalo here. It's a little bit thinner, but the quality is different in the sound. But buffalo can be pretty solid, and buffalo also talks to us about community and connection. And all that we do ripples out into the world. So buffalo is all about having an effect on the life on life too. Nurturing, gentleness, all things are provided for. Community and connection. All that we do ripples out, that we have an effect. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the dreams that I had when I slept with buffalo in the room that night. Was that I kept getting this image of a white calf or a white buffalo. In doing research, I discovered that there's a legend of the white buffalo. Highly recommended that you look it up. But the calf, I was getting downloads and transmissions about the calf being energetic imprinting. Just like we take this drum and we drum it over the vat as we're pulling out our new drum baby, we are imprinting vibrational information on a quantum level to these medicine drums. And so what I was learning was that as I'm spending time with my mentor, just like a child or a baby that's born from a calf or a cow, what happened, when a baby is born, it imprints with its mother. So I was getting all of this information about imprinting that's going on. And what we're doing with the drum when we use drum medicine, when we're in ceremony, whether it's private or whether we're in a group, we're amplifying the ability of this sound and frequency to get into the cells. And buffalo bypasses the gateways and converts into cellular information these vibrations. And so the key is that buffalo is one of the most profound medicines. What I also picked up, though, I think most important than anything was I can't even begin to describe to you the reverence, the sacredness, you know, that goes along with buffalo medicine. There's just this general reverence, and you know, I feel very privileged to be able to work with this medicine and that it speaks to me. It's the clearest channel I've ever experienced. It is a true privilege. I did pick up also that buffalo was that which chooses to be in ceremony, that buffalo is the worker of magic, medicine, and miracles. So I also picked up some energy about buffalo being the medicine of the people, and that all people are feeling the call, that need that tribal connection, and just keeping in mind that we have had drums in every culture known to man and woman, you know, from the Celts to South America to Africa, you know, and all throughout history within the temples we have vibrational therapy. Every church had a bell, organs, singing. Sound is the healing. It is old ways and new ways. Buffalo is my most sacred. And I wanted to talk about one more thing when we talk about determination with buffalo. There's a legend of the buffalo. In going into the storm, when the storm hits, buffalo charges into the storm. And why they do this is they know that once the storm comes in, they will lose their strength. And so buffalo dives in, whereas cow sits and hides, and they don't survive it. So we have this dogged determination, this freight train of buffalo that brings in determination. It's highly nurturing and reverent. It brings in a sacred sense and holiness into our life. And I am thoroughly in love with buffalo. So that's buffalo medicine in a nutshell. It's our shelter in the storm. It is our drive and determination. It is that which is holy and sacred, and it is our imprint. I am thoroughly, completely in love. I made this video for those of you that are making buffalo drums with me, so you have an understanding of the medicine, so that when you go to choose your skin, you can sit with these ideas. And I'll be doing more of these coming up. If you want to get your own drum, reach out to me, karmaondeck.com. Find yourself one of the plans there that you want to play with, whether you want to come to a ceremony or whether you want to make your own drum or have one custom made for you. I want to thank you for hanging out with me and enjoying my drum babies, and I will catch you on the flip side. I am your savage daughter. Caminando. Walk with me. We've got so much to do.